Hello, you beautiful soul, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing something very exciting. All you have to do is trust that this video finds you exactly when it's meant for you. I'm about to show you 3 different orbs, and I want you to truly tune into your intuition and choose the orb you feel most drawn to. And I know we live in a very logical world, so I think a lot of us can overthink or ask ourselves, how do I tune into my intuition? But for some reason, I know that you're a very naturally attuned person, so I actually trust your intuition a lot. Choose the orb you feel most drawn to, quite literally the one you can't look away from, the one you find the most beautiful, the colors that feel most authentic to you. And if you notice your mind going a million miles per hour and you just keep overthinking, simply choose one. And then I also trust that this one found you for a reason as well. Should we get into it? Yeah. Okay, dear Orb 1, I'm so excited for your message, and it's actually quite specific. So I actually have a question for you. Where in your life do you feel excitement, but with that excitement also comes fear? Truly think about that for a moment. What is something in your life that you would be excited to do, but also sparks some fear inside of you? And it's really important to tune into this combination of fear and excitement, because this is such an incredible sweet spot. And I truly believe that if you tune into this, actually following through with those things will lead to the biggest transformation that you currently need in your life. I feel like specifically for you in your journey on this path right now that you're walking, this is what is currently needed. To first recognize what excites your soul, because your curiosities, the things that light you up, that you daydream about, that you can't stop thinking about, they're not random at all. They're so deeply connected to the soul and your intuition, and those things truly lead you to where you're meant to be. We each carry our own compass within, and excitement is one of the greatest keys. But what is currently so needed on your path to get you to the next level or to wherever you want to be is to deliberately choose the things that also fear you. Use the fear as a portal. And it is now time for you to leap. I feel very strongly for some reason that for you, it is time to stop watching all of the YouTube, which I know is ironic, to stop listening to all the podcast episodes, reading all of the stuff online. I feel like you're incredibly smart, and I feel like you are very self-aware. You know what you are meant to do. You also know what you're excited about. You are very naturally attuned to your higher self. And the first time that you've asked yourself what excites you and what also fears you, the only question is, have you jumped for the portal? Because I feel like we live in such a logical, mind-based world where often nowadays, especially if you're here watching, I'm the same way, we often fall into this trap of doing all the research, gathering all the knowledge, planning and organizing our next steps, when right now, and truly see this as your sign, the only thing that you now have to do is take action and leap and jump for the portal. And trust that, especially if you feel stuck right now, or if you don't exactly know where you're heading, or if you kind of feel like you're overthinking a little bit, your answers and the next step will be found after you've jumped. So where do you still hold yourself back by not listening to your intuition? And this is a big one. Often we hold ourselves back because we think that we're not able to handle the discomfort that comes with it. Our brain is so dramatic that we quite literally think the fear will kill us. That's how badly our subconscious wants us to stay safe. You know that you are bigger than those feelings. They're valid, and you can honor them by sitting with them and finding out what's beneath it to help make the process easier. But at the end of the day, you will still have to jump. And it is now time for you to take action, and now time for you to jump. This is your message. I hope this resonated. Bye, Orb 1. Hi, Orb 2. I am so excited for your message. And it's a really specific one because we have to talk about urgency. Let me ask you this. Where in your life do you currently feel an immense sense of urgency? Where do you intuitively also, like truly beneath it, feel that this urgency is actually not needed? Something that I keep telling myself that has quite literally changed my life is that what is important is very rarely urgent, and what is urgent is very rarely important. And of course, I think we all feel this sense of urgency, especially living in this society. But I feel like for some reason, you've been disguising this urgency as productivity. When in reality, and maybe you're someone, this is really specific, but maybe you're someone who even struggles with like having low energy or feeling like you want to have more energy. Maybe you've even struggled with health issues. And I think logically, even though your intuition knows better, you keep operating on the sense that your urgency allows you to be productive. Maybe you even pride yourself in it a little bit. And it might be that you're a really ambitious person and you really value achievements, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So you motivate yourself with this urgency, or you live with this urgency to get stuff done. But what if I told you that this sense of urgency is actually the only thing that is holding you back? That even though your logical mind tries to tell you that it's making you productive and faster, that it's making you more money or allowing you to become more successful, that maybe without it you would just be lazy and on the couch. But what if I told you that it actually makes you less productive and it also drains you of your life force energy? And on top of that, it disconnects you from your intuition. And what is your intuition here for? Your intuition is your internal compass. It is quite literally only here for you to make your life easier, and you are currently entirely disconnecting yourself from it. That is not productive, my friend. And also, there's no judgment. It is truly the world that we live in right now, but I also feel like you're not an ordinary person. So there's absolutely no need for you to live like that. And it is now time to tune your focus into this whole topic of urgency, and especially tuning into your own natural pace in whatever it might be. It might be your daily life, it might be your career, business. I feel like for a lot of people, it's going to be career and business, or just in general your life. And for some reason, I really think it's health issues for some of you. Obviously, a feeling of urgency is also deeply tied to the nervous system. So if you felt called for any reason to dive deeper into any type of nervous system work, whether it be breath work, anything somatic therapy has completely changed my life. Any type of work with the nervous system, that is what you should focus on right now. And completely let go of this belief that your sense of urgency is making you more productive. I do feel like there's such a strong mistrust, like I said at the beginning, of being lazy. I'm not going to reach my goals. I'm not going to be successful if I go at my natural pace. Maybe my natural pace is really slow. The key to life, and that is why there's so much conditioning out there. Society literally tries from the moment you are born to distract you from it. But the key to life is to be in your natural energy, which is of peace and not of stress. Because only then you can actually hear your intuition clearly. And your intuition, again, is your compass. Any struggles that you currently have in your life, anything that might come your way, your intuition is literally your biggest superpower. If there's only one thing, especially if you're in the whole self-help, YouTube watching, podcast listening kind of field, if there's only one thing to focus on, it is to connect to your intuition. And your intuition resides in the body. It does not come from the logical mind. It makes so much sense that you cannot hear your intuition if your body's in a chronic state of urgency, which literally equals stress. And what I find so funny is I've talked to so many people, and I've even seen it in myself. So many people are not even aware that their body is chronically stressed. If you constantly have this urge to do things fast, if you constantly feel like time is running out, if you are anxious, if you're jittery, if you don't allow your thoughts even just 5 minutes throughout the day to just be and to just wander and process, if you multitask a lot, if you spend all your time listening to music or taking in knowledge or taking in all of this outside information, when you're constantly thinking and stuck in your head, this can all lead to your body quite literally being chronically stressed. And the problem is, since this is the baseline of the world and how this world operates, it feels like that's how we are supposed to live, when it's complete and utter BS. You have to be aware that it might be uncomfortable at first. You have to be aware that it might not feel natural at first, but it will feel good. It will feel like every cell in your body can finally relax. And what first comes up for so many people is that they first have to rest a lot, because your body is essentially catching up on rest. Your body is literally recalibrating itself to your own natural pace. And that is what so many people are afraid of. So many people are afraid of becoming lazy, losing their jobs, not making any more money. Your brain immediately goes to worst case scenarios, but you will soon notice, and even if it's just attainable for like 20 minutes a day. I'm not saying that you have to quit your job and go into the forest, even though I feel like a lot of people are being called to do this, and it sounds really extreme, but I feel like a lot of people have to do a big dramatic shift. There's literally a million different alternative ways to live. And the cool thing is that as soon as you start to embark on that path, your intuition will naturally tell you the next step. You just have to start by recalibrating your nervous system and to deeply sit with your sense of urgency and where it comes from and how you can tap more into your natural pace to finally hear that intuition. And that is what you're supposed to focus on right now. This is your most important thing that will lead to the biggest transformation in your life right now. All right, Orb 2, that was it. I hope you enjoyed. All right, Orb 3, I'm so excited that you're here. I have a very specific message and you might not want to hear it, but it's the thing that will lead to the biggest transformation on your path right now, so stick with me. I want you to ask yourself a question. Where in your life do you start things but don't finish them? And when I say that, I specifically want you to tune into your intuition on what comes to mind first. It might be a project or a thing that is really close to your heart, and there might be some resistance that comes up when you think about that thing. And there was also some resistance to finishing that thing that was actually really important to you, but there was something that came up, something that held you back from finishing it. Whether that be discomfort, or you didn't have the attention span for it, or you just got distracted, or something else came up. Maybe you doubted yourself. Maybe you felt like, oh, this is just a waste of time, or it's not going to go anywhere. The message that you need to hear right now is that there is something really important there. And you might have a lot of different projects that you started and maybe you didn't finish them. You're probably a very multi-passionate person, which I am too, and it's your biggest superpower. But when it comes to ideas and projects, and they don't have to be creative, but just in general, any ideas that humans have, or projects or ventures, they are not just from us. I'm a strong believer that these things choose us. They choose us because they want to be brought to life by us specifically. And when you see things from this viewpoint, again, it's not just about us. It is actually about this idea or venture or project as well. It has a deep desire to be manifested, and also a reason why it needs to be manifested by you specifically at this time right now. And often the resistance that comes up specifically with those things is also extremely specific to what we need, our soul needs on our journey to grow and to access a new version of us. To access a new version of us. I strongly believe that when resistance comes up, like I just mentioned before, fear or getting distracted or just doubting yourself, these things are also signs that that thing was really important to us. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't feel any resistance. It probably would just be like, no, I don't even care that much about it. Resistance means that you care. And I feel like you're a very intuitive person. I feel like you know deeply when something is true, this is not right for me, or if it's actually resistance that needs to be overcome. We intuitively know if something is not meant for us, or if we have to overcome the block that we experience. But truly ask yourself right now, what is it that you want to do, and where do you feel the most resistance, even though you really want to do it? And where are you putting projects or ventures or ideas on hold because of that? And I want you to intuitively just take the first thing that came to mind when I started talking, or the one that your intuition just pulls you towards the most. And I have a really specific practice for you that might feel a little bit silly, but I want you to see that thing that you feel stuck with, that path, that idea, that venture. I want you to sit with it like you would in a relationship. Doesn't matter if it's friendship or romantically. I want you to see that thing as an actual being and to not just get frustrated and to judge yourself and to be like, oh, why is this not working? Comparing yourself, whatever it might be. I want you to sit with the resistance and with the discomfort without judgment, without necessarily needing to change it, just hearing it out. Because that's how change happens. You can't bully yourself through resistance. You have to find a gentler way. That is the only way to go. And especially when you start seeing your ideas and your projects as actual beings, that is when you will also see what an honor it is that they chose you and that they visited you, that this vision came to you, and that this is something you feel intuitively called to do and to pursue. It could have been something entirely else. And yes, it might be overwhelming, especially if you are a person who does a lot of things and wants to do a lot of things. I think that's a big problem for many, is that we don't finish things, or there is much resistance because there is so much that we want to do. But as soon as you sit with those things and actually see them from a different perspective, that is when your intuition will become more loud and more clear. And those things will also naturally reveal to you what needs to be done first. And I also just need to say this, I'm giving you permission that it is okay to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You can do so many things in this lifetime. You might not be able to do 50 things at the same time and finish them all. I need you to know that you can take your time and that you can focus on one thing after the other. And the most beautiful thing about this practice and about doing this and this new viewpoint in general, that instead of constantly just being in your own head and taking from those pursuits, you start seeing overcoming that resistance as a duty that you fulfill to honor these ideas and these projects that visited you. That is when you truly step into a bigger purpose instead of constantly feeling so overwhelmed and lost. So really tune into this resistance, and you just have to know that you're so capable of this. I feel like you're very connected. You just have to trust yourself more and to really just focus on closing those loops, because that will also give you back so much more energy. And I truly think doing what I just said is the one thing that will lead to the biggest transformation right now on your path. And trust me, it will be so incredibly worth it. All right, or free. This was it. I hope you enjoyed. Alright, you beautiful souls, this was it. As always, you can find anything you need down below. My website, a free inner magic activation. I created my own free oracle deck, which you can pull a card from on my website. You can find my socials and anything else. And I'll hopefully see you guys again soon.